At 1:03 a.m. my phone buzzed on the nightstand. I was half asleep, half dreading whatever excuse she'd send this time. But nothing prepared me for the message glowing on my screen. Don't wait for me tonight. No explanation. No apology. Just a cold instruction like I was a burden. For a few seconds I stared at the text, feeling my heartbeat shift from confusion to something darker. Something like confirmation. I didn't reply. Not yet. Instead, I sat there in the dark, letting the silence of our bedroom wrap around me like a truth I didn't want to accept. I already knew. I'd known for weeks. But now she'd handed me the moment I needed. I climbed out of bed, walked to her dresser, opened the top drawer and found what I'd hidden there earlier. A small envelope containing everything I never wanted to see. Screenshots. Pictures. Receipts. Proof of the late work nights that were never about work. Proof of the man who wasn't me. I took a picture of the envelope sitting on her empty pillow. Then I sent it to her. I won't wait. That was all I wrote. She didn't respond. Not for 10 minutes. Not for an hour. Not for the rest of the night. And that was its own answer. I lay awake until sunrise, staring at the outline of her things. The hairbrush on the dresser, the cardigan draped over the chair. Objects that suddenly felt like props in a life that wasn't real. My wife Aisha hadn't always been like this. Or maybe she had been, and I simply loved her too loudly to hear the quiet lies. We met 7 years ago, back when she used to laugh with her whole body. When we lived in a small apartment with thin walls and big dreams. She used to call me her home. She used to run to the door when I came back from work. Now she didn't even come home at all. The first crack appeared 6 months ago. A guarded phone, late-night meetings, a sudden obsession with her appearance. I tried to dismiss the thoughts creeping into my head, telling myself I was being insecure. But insecure men don't find Uber receipts from unknown locations. Insecure men don't catch glimpses of the same name on her notifications again and again. I never confronted her, not directly. I wanted to believe she'd tell me on her own. She never did. So I gathered evidence quietly, painfully, piece by piece, like someone preparing for a funeral. Last night she buried us with one message. Around 7 a.m., I heard the front door unlock. I didn't move. I didn't call out. I just sat at the dining table with a cup of cold tea, staring at nothing. She walked in slowly, soft footsteps, almost cautious. Her eyes were swollen. Not from guilt, I knew, but from whatever or whoever she'd been crying over. When she saw me awake, she froze. "Why are you up?" she asked, voice shaky. I didn't sleep. I watched her face carefully. "Did you?" A flicker of panic crossed her eyes. I gestured toward the envelope. "You saw the picture?" Her gaze dropped to the floor. It's not what you think." I almost laughed. "Almost." "Aisha," I said. "I know everything." She sat down across from me, hands trembling. "It was a mistake. I was confused. I didn't want to hurt you. But you did." My voice cracked in the middle. I hated that she still had the power to break me. She reached for my hand, but I pulled away. "It's over," I whispered. "You made your choice last night." Her lips quivered. "Please, let me explain." "Explain what?" "That you trusted him with your secrets? Your nights? Your body. And you couldn't even trust me with the truth." Her silence answered for her. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. The morning light spilled into the room, highlighting the distance between us. Distance she'd created, and I'd finally decided not to chase. Eventually, she whispered the question I'd been waiting for. "What are you going to do?" I slid a folded sheet of paper across the table. Divorce papers I'd filled out but never signed. I'd hoped I'd never need them. But hope had been dying slowly for months. Her face went pale. "You already had these?" "I kept forgiving you in my head," I said. "I kept imagining you'd come back to me. But last night you told me you don't come home anymore." "Not really." Tears fell down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry." I believed the tears. But I didn't believe the words. I stood up, walked to the bedroom and grabbed the small suitcase I'd packed at dawn. Not for me, for her. When I returned, she stared at it like it was a weapon. "I won't throw you out," I said quietly. "But you can't stay here with me." Her voice broke. "You're choosing to give up?" "No," I said. "You gave up a long time ago." I'm just accepting it. I placed the suitcase by the door. She walked to it slowly, touching it with trembling fingers, like touching the last memory of our marriage. Before she left, she turned to me with wet eyes. Do you hate me? I took a long breath. No, I said. I just finally love myself enough not to wait for someone who doesn't wait for me. She closed the door behind her. I don't know how long I stood there, staring at the wood grain of the door, feeling everything and nothing at the same time. It's been 3 weeks since that night. The silence in the apartment is different now. Less painful, more peaceful. I get home from work, make myself dinner, open the curtains, breathe in the air that used to feel heavy. I'm healing slowly. Aisha texted me once after leaving. 3 simple words. I miss you. I didn't reply. Some things don't deserve answers. Because the night she told me not to wait for her, she didn't realize she was giving me permission to stop waiting for the rest of my life.